Hello, everybody. It's me, Anthony, and it's the time of the week again. It's Anthony's NFL Picks. Week 11. Wow, we're already in the 11th week of the NFL, and it's going by very, very quickly, which I'm not surprised because all the good stuff that I do always comes to an end. But that's okay because, this season's a lot of fun, and we have a lot of great teams that could show us like how we're good and stuff like that. My record right now, by the way, is 95-52. I'm doing really good this season. And also another thing, please like this video and subscribe and turn on the notification bells to get updated on my newest content. I publish a video on my NFL picks about every week, but college can kind of get in the way with scheduling. But that's okay because I might be okay in college, but it's enough with all that stuff. But anyways, let's get started with our picks. The four teams that will not be playing and the teams that are on bye week are the 5-5 Colts, the 5-5 Saints, the 4-6 Falcons, and the 2-8 Patriots will not be playing for week 11. Enough with all the nonsense. Let's get started. Kicking it off for Thursday Night Football, we got the 5-4 Bengals and the 6-3 Ravens. Bengals, they're here. Both teams are coming back from losses. The Bengals, they're here after losing against the Texans in that crazy last-second game, 30-27. T. Higgins is out still, which is kind of a huge disadvantage for for Cincinnati. They're not looking too well for them. They're going on to Baltimore against the Ravens, who were beating Cleveland, but ended up losing that last-second game, 33-31. Both teams are coming back from big losses, but to be honest with you, I might have to go with the Ravens on this one. They're in Baltimore, and they look a little bit better, so I'm going to have to go with them. Ravens will beat the Bengals 27-24. Ravens will be 7-3. Bengals will be 5-5. We move on with the next game. Coming up at our next game, it's another AFC North matchup, but this time it's the 6-3 Steelers and the 6-3 Browns as well. The battle of the 6-3 teams. Steelers. Both teams are coming back from wins, actually. The Steelers are here after barely beating Green Bay 23-19. They're looking really well, Pittsburgh, and, they look really good with Kenny Pickett, George Pickens. They look like a very promising team. However, the Browns, they're coming back from really weird games, the Browns. They're 6-3. They came back from a crazy ending against the Ravens. I think the Browns could make the playoffs this season, to be honest with you. The Browns have showed a lot of improvement. Let's see. They beat the 49ers, mainly because they had a lot of injuries. And they beat the Ravens, too. The Browns look like a very good team right now. And to be honest with you, I might have to go with the Browns on this one, because it's in Cleveland. Browns will beat the Steelers 21-13. The Browns will be 7-3. Steelers will be 6-4. We move on with the next game. Coming up at our next game, we got the 5-5 Raiders and the 6-3 Dolphins. Raiders, they're coming here after that ugly win against the Jets, 16-12. Jets were winning that game at halftime. It was 9-6. The game was very bad. Zach Wilson threw an interception, and they've been really struggling lately. So that's a huge disadvantage for the Jets. Aaron Rodgers may return in mid-December, apparently, after he tore his Achilles week 1, which I ain't buying, though. But I love Aaron Rodgers. Fun fact. Even though I'm not a Jet fan or a Packer fan, I just love Aaron Rodgers. But anyway, the Dolphins, they're coming back from their bye week, and they're actually coming back from a loss in Germany against the Chiefs. But I think the Dolphins look like they got refreshed from their bye week. They all rested up. So I might have to go with the Raiders on this, the Dolphins on this one. Dolphins will beat the Raiders 27-10. Dolphins will be 7-3. Raiders, they will be 5-6. We move on with our next game. Coming up at our next game, we got an NFC North matchup between the 3-7 Bears and the 7-2 Lions. Bears are here after winning that game against Carolina 16-13. Panthers were actually winning that game 10-9 at half. And then all of a sudden, the Bears came back and won that game. I don't even know why I chose the Panthers to win that game. I wasn't thinking. But I'm thinking they're going to be in Detroit against the Lions, and they're 7-2 after knocking out the Chargers in a high-scoring game, 41-38. And also, another thing is that the Lions are the first time they're 7-2 since 2014. And you know what, to be honest, I might have to go with the Lions on this one. They're in Ford Field. They look a lot stronger. I might have to go with Detroit on this one. Lions will beat the Bears 31-20. Lions will be 8-2. Bears will be 3-8. We move on with the next game. Coming up at our next game, we got a lot of division battles this week. We got an AFC South matchup between the 3-6 Titans and the 6-3 Jaguars. Titans, they're here after losing to Tampa Bay 20-6. They got beat by Baker Mayfield and the Buccaneers. The Titans, they're not looking great with Will Levis. He's not doing that well, and DeAndre Hopkins and Derrick Henry have been struggling a bit because they're a very good team, the Jaguars, and they're going on back at home after getting suffocated by the 49ers, 34-3. The 49ers got really good with Chase Young. They look very strong, and I think they could do really good with that stuff. I might have to go with the Jaguars. They're in TAA Bank Stadium in Florida. They have a home field advantage. I'm thinking they're going to knock out the Titans on this one. Jaguars will beat the Titans 30-23. Jaguars will be 7-3. Titans will be 3-7. We move on with the next game. Coming up at our next game, we got the 4-5 Chargers, and we also have the 3-6 Packers. Chargers, they're here after losing that tough game against the Lions. It was a very close game, I think. I think the Chargers are 4-5. They are 4-5. They're coming back from losing that tough game against Detroit, and they look really bumpy and rocky. It's not looking good for the Charger fans. I think Brendan Staley may get fired this season. Because the Chargers, they're not great of a team. They're going on to Green Bay against the Packers, who are 3-6, who lost against Pittsburgh in that close game. But to be honest, I may have to go with the Chargers. Chargers will beat Green Bay 17-14. Chargers will be 5-5. Packers will be 3-7. We move on with our next game. Coming up at our next game, we got the 2-8 Cardinals and the 5-4 Texans. Both teams are coming back from wins. The Cardinals, they're here after barely beating Atlanta 25-23. They look right, and Kyler Murray finally came back. That's why they won, I think. Kyler Murray is finally back after suffering that ACL tear back in December of last season. They're going on to Houston against the Texans, who have been very good with C.J. Stroud and Noah Brown and Nico Collins. They're looking really good, the Texans. They have showed improvement. They beat the Bengals. They're really good. C.J. Stroud is turning that team around, and I might have to go with the Texans on this one. Texans will beat Arizona 34-14. Texans will be 6-4. Cardinals will be 2-9. We move on with our next game. Coming up at our next game, we got the 6-3 Cowboys and the 1-8 Panthers, the worst team in the NFL. Cowboys, they're here after winning against the Giants and destroying them 49-17 because the Giants are garbage and I hate that team. I'm a Commanders fan to the day I die. You hear me? Hail to the Commanders. But anyway, back to what I was saying. Cowboys look really good, but they're going on against the worst team in the NFL, and they blew that game against the Bears. I'm talking about the Panthers. Panthers are not a good team at all. And I don't know why they would trade all their picks to the Chicago Bears. The guys should have gotten something better. The Bears should have gotten Bryce Young instead. Bryce Young is not working out with Carolina. And I think they're rebuilding, so I might have to go with the Cowboys on this one. Cowboys will beat the Panthers 26-9. Cowboys will be 7-3. Panthers will be 1-9. We move on with the next game. Coming up at our next game, we got a battle of the NFC East. And actually, it's a rematch of Week 7, actually. And it's a battle between me and my dad's favorite teams. You see, my dad's a Giants fan, and I'm a Commanders fan. And we got our next game. We got the 2-8 Giants and my 4-6 Commanders. Hail to the Commanders. It's the battle between Big Dave, my father, and me. Big Dave versus Anthony, Week 11 rematch. The 2-8 Giants and the 4-6 Commanders. The Giants are here after getting knocked out against Dallas at home. They're going to D.C. taking on my Commanders. Hail to the Commanders. I'm so happy right now. Washington, they're also here after losing against Seattle. And we did pretty good, actually, against Seattle. We played up a great fight, and we couldn't hold on, though. We did really good with Montez Sweat and Chase Young, but I'm hoping Ron Rivera will lose his job. He sucks as a coach. I hope he gets fired. to be honest with you. Because Montez Sweat's on the Bears now, and Chase Young's on the 49ers, so that's why we kind of feel like garbage. But I might have to go with the Commanders on this one. Commanders will beat the Giants 22-19. Commanders will be 5-6. The Giants will be 2-9. We move on with the next game. Coming up at our next game, we got the 4-5 Buccaneers and the 6-3 Niners. Buccaneers are here after knocking out Tennessee. Both teams are coming back from wins again, 20-6. And the 49ers, oh my goodness, now this team is looking good. After losing 3 straight, the Niners are here after knocking out Jacksonville with that amazing defense. Because the Niners got Chase Young from my Commanders, though, but we may get somebody good in the draft. But the 49ers look like a very tough team to get through. And I'm thinking they could win and knock out Tampa Bay just like that, because they're in San Francisco. They got Chase Young now. They got Brock Purdy. They got Deebo Samuel if he comes back. They got Christian McCaffrey, George Kittle. The list goes on. They even got Nick Bosa. I'm going to have to go with the Niners on this one. Niners will beat the Buccaneers 21-3. The 49ers will be 7-3. Buccaneers will be 4-6. We move on with the next game. Coming up at our next game, we got an NFC East matchup. A lot of division battles again. Not an NFC East, an AFC East matchup between the 4-5 Jets and the 5-5 Bills. Both teams are coming back from losses. Jets are here after losing against the Raiders at that last second. Zach Wilson threw that last second interception, causing the Jets to go under 500 again. And the Bills are here after losing against Denver, losing 2 straight. Broncos look like they're improving a lot with Sean Payton. The Bills lost 24-22. Excuse me. But anyway, I might have to go with Buffalo. They're back in Buffalo. I'm thinking the Bills are going to win this game. Bills will beat the Jets 23-13. The Bills will be 6-5. Jets will be 4-6. We move on with the next game. Coming up at our next game, we got another matchup for a division battle, and this time it's an NFC West matchup between the 6-3 Seahawks and the 3-6 Rams. Seahawks are here after knocking out my Commanders at home, which I'm not too happy about, but I don't expect much from my Commanders this season, so that's okay. But they're going against the Rams, and this is another Week 1 matchup, a rematch after Seattle lost to them 30-13. The Rams are here winning coming back from their bye week and losing to Green Bay the day before my birthday. So we're going to see how they're going to play out this game. It's in LA, but I'm thinking it's going to be a close game because Matthew Stafford is finally back with that thumb injury. So I may have to go with the Seahawks on this one. Seahawks will beat the Rams 31-28. Seahawks will be 7-3. Rams will be 3-7. We move on with our next game. Coming up with our next game for Sunday Night Football, we got the 6-4 Vikings and the 4-5 Broncos. Vikings, they're here after winning against the Saints 27-19. Joshua Dobbs is a really good quarterback, and he's doing really good despite losing, after losing Kirk Cousins for the whole season due to that Achilles injury in Green Bay Week 9 or Week 8. They look really promising, and I'm thinking they could go on and beat Denver. It's going to be a close game, though. But however, the Vikings still have a lot of injuries. Justin Jefferson is not returning this game, though. He is out still with that hamstring injury. And they're doing really good without Justin Jefferson or Kirk Cousins playing. KJ Osborne's out, and Cam Akers tore his Achilles, which is a very huge disadvantage. But they got Joshua Dobbs. He's really good this season. Despite him struggling with the Cardinals and getting traded to the Vikings, he's 2-0 right now as he started as a Viking starter. But they're going on to Denver against the Broncos, who beat the Bills surprisingly in that 2-game score, 24-22. It's in Denver, though, but I might have to go with the Vikings. If the Vikings keep doing good, I think they could get a playoff spot. Vikings will beat the Broncos 30-27. Vikings will be 7-4. The Broncos will be 4-6. We move on with the next game. And last but not least, for Monday Night Football for this week, we got the best team in the NFL, the 8-1 Eagles, and the 7-2 Chiefs. The battle of the two best teams and a Super Bowl 57 rematch. We got the 8-1 Eagles and the 7-2 Chiefs. This is going to be a very high-scoring game. The Eagles, they're here coming back from bye weeks. Both teams are coming back from bye weeks. But my dad told me this morning the Chiefs have been playing very, very, very bad lately. They haven't been playing that well. And I don't think they're going to beat the Eagles. He's right, though, but the Eagles are a very good team, though. They're the best team in the NFL with an 8-1 record. I'm thinking the Eagles can go back to the Super Bowl, to be honest, but I think the Niners could stop them because now they got Chase Young. They look unstoppable, so I might have to go with the Eagles over the Chiefs, I think. But it's in Kansas City. But my gut's saying the Eagles are going to win this game. Eagles will beat the Chiefs 41-38, Super Bowl 57 rematch. I think the Eagles are going to get their revenge. Eagles will be 9-1, Chiefs will be 7-3. And that is it for this week, everybody. Tune in next week for Anthony's NFL Picks Week 12, for aka the Thanksgiving special, which will be premiering next Tuesday, November 21st, 2023. This is Anthony signing off, and have a great week.